Now, Norman, watch it. The pedal, the foot pedal goes up and down.
Oh.
This wheel turns, and that needle goes up and down.
Wow.
All 3 pieces. That was from Joanne Fabric.
Huh.
But anyway, that was.
Now, was this girl quite a seamstress?
It was Laura's first job. Now, she didn't get to use a sewing machine, but she got to help with the bastings and the buttonholes, and she hated buttonholes.
Oh, really?
Absolutely hated it. She learned how to do them so fast she could do a buttonhole a minute. By hand. By hand. And so that was, she became quite a seamstress just because she didn't like the buttonholes.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just,
well, there she
that
is.
was her
She's
first
making
job.
bands.
Her first paying job was in the tailor shop.
Really?
Yep, and this is Mr. Edwards. Remember Mr. Edwards on the series? Well, I got a little tiny plaid.
Yeah.
This one comes from Cabela's.
Whoa.
That was from the Cabela's catalog.
Huh.
And you should have seen the response I got when that Cabela's box came to the school. They brought it in at the lunch, one of the lunch shifts, and the kid said, "You ordered from Cabela's?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Oh, well, let's open it up and find out what you got in there." Well, I knew what was in there, and I thought, they're not going to understand. They're just not going to understand. So, but that's where he came from. This has got leather, some leather. This is, oh, it came apart. Yuck. Dick helped me.
This is a blacksmith shop?
It's a blacksmith shop. And the bellows actually squeeze in. They're made of real leather and wood. And Dick says, "You know, your forge is going to burn down." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, it's made out of wood." I said, "It's only an old one of those little bongo drums from the band that got broken." And I brought it home, used it for a pencil thing for Richard for years. So we've got 2 brothers and 2 sisters. The Hester Sue's Cafe, and then we've got the banker and now these are all heavy. I was trying to anchor down the floor because the floor gets kind of.
They were old-time banks, right?
Yeah. Yep. Okay, I'll put this one here in just a second. Anyway, so there's mail on one side and money on the other. I'll stick this thing back in here.
And this is a general store.
Yes. Now last year I put more stuff in it. Yesterday.
Yeah, I can see you've got a lot of stuff in this general store.
Yeah, but it's not as much as I had in last year's.
Really?
Yeah, I had this whole floor full, and I
really?
thought you couldn't move. I'm not going to do it all this time, so I've still got lots of stuff to put in it, but I just did it this time. I was trying to you get sore from bending over the tables, so anyway.
Well, it's a lot of stuff to set up. How long is it taking you to set this stuff up?
By myself. Now Megan was here last year and the year before, and she was such a huge help because her little tiny hands, she could get her hands in there without knocking the stuff out. And me, I get my paws in there and I knock things over. 2 days.
2 days.
Because I was down Friday afternoon, all day Saturday, and then Sunday afternoon. So you put the 2 partials, and it's about 2 days putting it up by myself. So it seems a shame to put it up for only 1 day's viewing, but we have so much fun.
Yeah, it's a good thing definitely a good thing for Huntersville days with all these Indians and so forth.
And then I found a couple more of these this summer. So I was just real tickled because I always try finding these pieces of ironware. They're just really wonderful. Come around this way. You gotta see into here. Let me move this string. Put the latch string over the door. It's not gonna stay. You gotta come here and look. Now look straight down.
Yeah.
Clear back to the fireplace. You gotta get down almost to table level.
Yeah.
And shoot it straight in. See what I mean?
Yeah, I see it. Huh. The little house on the prairie.
See, this one doesn't bump down, but this is the one Dick said, "I'm not building another room in this house for your doll stuff." So that's where I had to go get boxes and use the boxes, which it's okay because they have the square fronts on the old
I think the boxes are a great idea.
Well, and then that bumps flat, and then that bumps flat.
Yeah, so at least you can carry it, can't you?
And Norman, if it's packed right, which Dick did, but if it's packed right, every bit of this will fit in that van. Including Dick and I. Of course, I have to hold the covered wagon in my lap, but
You even got the Indians in
Yep, they're grinding
their
corn.
teepee, fixing dinner.
Yep. There's fish in some of the plates back in there. So I tell the kids, he said, well, what are the horses? I said, well, they're gathering horses for the cavalry. That's their cash crop.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And I almost have the teepee too tall. If I spread out the sticks this way,
Yeah.
it doesn't want to slide. But see where all this was up here like
Yeah.
this, and it's going into a slide, and I thought, I'm not going to touch it or it'll just...
But it's do you take that thing down and put it up each time?
Yep, yeah. All of these come out. All these poles come out. There's a way you start out with the first three, and then you build around it
Yeah.
and around it again. And then these are for wind direction. These right here are for wind direction, and these two flaps here are for draft. Although you're seeing too much hole in the front, but it's okay. That's all I can do right now, because it'll go into a slide. It'll just slide all that way to that leather. Will just keep on coming down.
And these were the Osage Indians. They were prairie.
Yes, this is not the chief. But this is an Osage tribesman at 1870, in the very year that Laura was living there.
Oh, okay. Huh.
And it's the chief sold out Duchesne that actually protected them, or we wouldn't have had. If it wasn't for him and Ma, we wouldn't have had the stories, because they were going to be massacred.
Oh, really?
They were too far south of this line.
Yeah.
They were too far south, and the Indians were just tired of being pushed.
Yeah.
They had been pushed and pushed, and
they didn't
the
kill 'em?
government. No, well, they were going to, and after a week-long powwow at the end of the little house on the prairie, there's a week-long powwow. Of course, she says she writes the books for kids, so she doesn't go into all the gruesome details.
Right.
But it was the Osage chief that went to bat against all the other tribes that were gathering, and he said, "These people are good people. You don't harm them. If you do, you'll have us to deal with." And she tells about that in a later interview. And so anyway, it's just...
So they spared their lives.
Yeah, they had to leave. And so when you see the first 2-hour premiere movie, they leave by leaving the house and the big plow in the front, but at least they left with their lives.
Yeah.
So, and you got to see this one here.
Now, why was this Indian friendly to them?
Because Pa had told Ma if he was ever out hunting and the Indians came, she told him, she said, you be polite, you be respectful, and you treat them. And he said, just do whatever they ask you to do. And twice, the chief had come to the house, not once but twice, and he signed into the pot and food and eat. And so she fixed him whatever, she didn't say exactly cornmeal or whatever stew was bubbling on the hearth. And she fed them twice, and Pa wasn't even there. And they left. They took some tobacco and helped themselves. And this is a reproduction of the little house. They found the foundations. They researched. It was the only hand-dug well in the whole area. That's how they know it was Pa's house.
Yeah.
So this belongs right now to retired Admiral William Curtis, father to Bill Curtis, the narrator on on Cold Case Files.
Yeah.
Their family owns that property right now. For as dirt poor as they were, Norman, they have found 23 oil wells on that property.
23 old.
It is. I'll show you right here in the back. I highlighted it, and it better be in this book, because I looked and looked for a couple of years. I thought, where have I seen this? Nope. Because I highlighted it now. It's oil is discovered in Independence, Kansas. Eventually there will be 23 oil wells on the land that once surrounded the little house on the prairie. Can you believe it?
They would be rich today.
Oh my goodness, yes. And their descendants. And it was